Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm Coach Richard. Uh, you can call me Coach Shard or Sir Shard. My other students would call me Sir Mac kasi medyo mahaba daw yung last name ko. Okay, so I'm a registered chemist and a licensed professional teacher. I've been teaching in the licensure exam since 2016. So for tonight's session, our series would cover introduction to sciences. So this is just fundamental concepts, but a lot of questions in the specializations were covering this topic. Okay, so let's have our first item. Okay, so our first item is the body of knowledge, including the process by which knowledge is developed, is A, innovation, B, science, C, technology, or D, invention. You can type in your answer so I can see your response. Or just type in the number and the answer. Example, you type 1 and the option. Okay? Parang ganyan. Okay? Please don't be shy so you can participate in our session. Okay, very good. So the body of science that should be, or the body of knowledge that would be science. So let's define what is science. So lagi natin tatandaan na any systems of knowledge that is concerned with the physical world or phenomenon. And it is based on observation and systematic experimentation. So when we say unbiased observation, dapat wala siyang prejudice kasi there are certain observations na minsan dahil meron tayong preferential idea mas nagkakaroon ng mas nangyayari siya, right? But in reality, when you count it with the overall instances, hindi pala siya yung naturally occurring. Okay? So when we talk about technology naman, basically technology is an application of scientific knowledge. So anything that is applied to simplify our life or to make life bearable, okay, like machines, our internet right now, we can connect, right? So some of you are in Mindanao or some of you are in certain parts of Luzon and Visayas, but we can have a virtual synchronous session, okay? So that is technology. So bear also in mind that certain items are being asked in the branches of science. So when we talk about science, you can divide it into three, right? Okay? So, ano tong tatlong to? First, syempre sa natural science, we have life science. Okay? The second one would be physical science. Okay? And the last one would be social sciences. Actually, maraming tinatanong dito sa science, social sciences. Like kunwari, when we talk about history, it would pertain to narration of the past events. Second would be, ito yung favorite ng Let, psychology. So for psychology, this is human behavior. Okay? And then we have paano naman yung existence natin, right? When we question our existence, that is philosophy. And others would be, let's say, economics. Economics would have three, the production, consumption, and or distribution and consumption of goods. Basta nakita niyo yung terms na yon, that should be economics. And then for life sciences, we have biology. So biology is the study of life, while physical sciences would pertains to other physical aspects, those non-living things. So, nandito yung physics, nandito yung astronomy, nandito yung, ano pa? Ano yung nawawala? It's chemistry. Okay? So, physics, pag tinanong kayo sa physics, that is the most fundamental science kasi it would just cover the everyday size object at saka yung mga atomic level. So, hindi siya parang hindi siya naka-base yung I mean naka-base yung ibang sciences sa physics, okay? And then astronomy naman, ito yung pinaka-ancient science kasi ever since naman since antiquity, okay? People are fascinated with celestial objects, with our constellation, with our stars and other heavenly objects, okay? So like your Sumerians, your Babylonians, so they have like sundial, okay, to track the time. They are fascinated with solar eclipses. So astronomy is the most ancient science. And chemistry is your central science. Kasi ang chemistry, it can connect to physics, it can connect concepts in biology and other aspects. Kaya siya tinawag na central science. But for today, you would just focus on, or for this month, you would just focus on biology. So dapat medyo nagbabasa kayo ng mga branches of biology. Ang technique dito ay hindi dapat parang minsan lang memorize yung mga branches of science like zoology, botany, ecology, okay, microbiology. You just encounter them in your everyday review and it would be embedded to you. Okay? Kasi pag pinagsama-sama mo lahat to, like you have different branches of sciences and then you would just memorize it at one sitting, it wouldn't be helpful. Dapat ano lang, along the way lang siya. Okay? So next, let's proceed with this item. Okay? So item number 2. What field of study will you take if you wish to specialize in the medical care of the children? Okay? Oncology, obstetrics, geriatrics, pediatrics. Okay, very good. It should be, okay, it's pediatrics. So basta bata, it's pediatrics. And then for geriatrics, from the name itself, geria. So this one is for elders. Ang obstetrics naman, di ba? Ano tayong term na OB-GYN, obstetrics and gynecologist. This is for female, particularly the female reproductive system. Okay? Someone who specializes on that. And then for oncology, from the name itself, onco, okay, this is related to a disease called cancer. Okay? So that's the thing that have come out in the previous licensure exam. Pero hindi pa to recent. Okay? Ang recent ay genetics. Okay? So let's answer another item for branches of sciences. Among the areas of study, blank is the scientific study of the body's defenses against diseases and foreign substances. Okay, very good. It's immunology. So from the name itself, sabi niya, defense against disease. So this one is immune response or immunity. So usually naman, pag mga branches of sciences, you start with the name and then you add the logy. Kasi di ba ang logy is study. Okay? So physiology naman, as opposed to anatomy, right? Okay, physiology is the functions of the organs and how would they relate with another. Ang anatomy naman ay structures. Okay, so ano ba yung mga body parts? So that is anatomy. Ang cytology from its name, okay, yung cyto means cell. Okay, at ang ethnology it's more on the behavior of animals. Okay, magkaiba pa yung ethology. Ang ethology ay more on human tribes. Okay. Next, we go with item number 4. Okay. The beneficial effect of scientific development on medicine is control of diseases, access to information, research capability, or the information dissemination. Okay, very good. Let me see your chat. Okay. Okay, correct. It's control of diseases. Actually, in the recent licensure exam, ito yung madalas na tinatanong sa Gen Ed and specialization. How technology is being applied in our society. Kasi di ba meron tayong subject in the new curriculum na STS or Science, Technology, and Society. So most of the questions would relate the application of science and technology to our lives and society. So first one, pag tinanong kayo, what is the application of science in education? Ang sagot doon ay source of knowledge. So science is a source of knowledge. Next would be, what is the application of science to medicine? Ang una dyan ay control of diseases and what? Immunity. Okay, so minsan tinatanong specifically ano yung ginagamit sa immunity. When they develop vaccination, they can use genetic engineering or biotechnology. Okay. Next, we have agriculture. So pag sinabi mong application of technology in agriculture, dalawa tinitignan dyan. Okay. Number 1 is resistance to pests. Okay. Example of which would be your genetically modified crops. So your genetically modified crops do have their gene from Bacillus thuringiensis. So a gene from that could produce a protein that is toxic to insects but not non-toxic to us. So pag kinain ito ng insect, mamamatay sila. Pero tayo, hindi tayo affected. Okay? Next would be, syempre, ano na tayo, parang, di ba, medyo may changes na sa weather pattern natin. One of which is the long drought. So dapat yung crops natin, they are resilient to drought or climate change. So, and another one would be, di ba, example, I'm living in Tarlac, okay? So, most of our vegetable crops are we call it, gulay Tagalog, but in reality, they are just planted in lowland. So what are these gulay Tagalog? So, you have kamatis, you have eggplant, okay? And, syempre, hindi ka pwedeng magtanim dito ng patatas and carrots, right? Kasi they need relatively a colder climate, right? So most likely sa tingin niyo saan natin makikita, okay? Yung mga ganitong gulay, 'di ba? Sa Cordillera. Okay? So syempre, when you have like you go to Manila, okay? Syempre urbanized na doon. So there are few or there are limited or let's say wala na talagang pwedeng pagtaniman. So if you have vegetables na kailangan i-transport, they should be able to survive the transportation. So dapat yung mga crops na napuproduce in agriculture should be or should have the capability to have a delayed ripening. Okay? When I say delayed ripening, pagka-harvest nila, okay, something na pwedeng ilagay, okay, like sa coating ng prutas ng kamatis or probably mas sturdy yung laman ng kamatis na pag tin-transport mo yung gulay, hindi siya nasisira at nahihinog agad. Kasi it would really take time to travel these goods at dapat delayed yung ripening nila. Okay? So that is the applications of science and technology in agriculture. We go with transportation. Siyempre, iba-iba na yung mode of transportation natin. If you want to go to Manila, from Mindanao, you can either ride a shipping line or probably an airplane. Okay? So mas mabilis na, right? So basically, kapag tinanong kayo ng anong effect ng science and technology sa transportation, your answer should be an increased mobility. Okay? Ibig sabihin, mas bumibilis at mas dumadami yung mga nag-travel. Okay? At meron tayo sa communications. So we have, ang tinatanong dito ay yung Zoom and Skype. Okay? You might be asked kung ano yung ginagamit for web conferencing. So that is Zoom. And second would be, ano yung ginagamit for face-to-face conversation. Okay? Though a lot of these apps can be used, right? You have yung tawag dito, Messenger ng Facebook, you have WhatsApp ng Meta din, okay? You have Skype, okay? You have Viber, etc. Those apps are useful. Pero in the recent boards, ang tinatanong ay yung Skype. Okay? So basta may nakita kayong face-to-face, the answer should be Skype. Okay? Next, we have energy. So di ba, ang problem natin ay yung mga increased fossil fuels. At hindi renewable ang fossil fuels. They are not replenished, meaning there would come a time na wala na tayong fossil fuels. So right now, ang trend ay dapat magkaroon tayo ng mga tinatawag na renewable energy. So itong mga renewable energy na to, this can be replenished at definite time at mas mabilis lang ma-replenish. Example would be your solar power sa sun, sa water, okay? At saka possibly pwede din ang mga bioethanol. Ito yung mga pine-ferment na crops, okay, na pwedeng source ng biofuel. Okay? Aside from this, we have yung mga hydropower, okay? Yung mga dam natin. So those are renewable energy. There's another term also called alternative energy. Ang alternative energy is any energy source that is beyond the usage of fossil fuels and nuclear power. Okay? So basta may nakita yung dalawang term na yun, your answer should be alternative, not renewable. So basically, yung mga renewable energy sources can also be alternative energy, except, okay, there are certain exemptions, okay, like your, for instance, yung mga bioethanol, okay, yung biomass, okay. So ito yung mga biomass, they are alternative sources, pero may limited amount lang sila na pwedeng i-produce. Okay? So those are your applications of science and technology across different field. Okay? So let's proceed with item number 5. Okay? playing an important role in the progress of science by providing the cumulative wisdom of the nations passed on from one generation to generation is known as blank knowledge. Key in your answers: customary, indigenous, traditional, inherited. Okay? Ang keyword natin dito ay sabi niya cumulative wisdom, okay, of the nation. So basically you pertains to group of people. Okay? So the best answer here should be indigenous. Okay? Kasi di ba we have different indigenous groups and usually they pass down their information from the older to the younger generation. Example of which would be the use of the halamang gamot, right? So yung paggamit ng halamang gamot ay natutunan natin sa mga elder natin. So those are indigenous information. As opposed to traditional kasi, pag traditional, it is just limited to what is given in a group of people, okay? At ang ano dito ay ang sang ano natin ay yung information dapat na yun would come from a group of people and it would be passed down. Okay? So, example na una ko nasabi ay yung mga halamang gamot like bayabas, rattan for Aita, yung mga Aita, they use rattan for intestinal issues, I mean the gastrointestinal issues at naaral na siya, it can be used for certain issue like diarrhea. Okay? Like, ano ba, yung lagundi, di ba? Yung lagundi, saan na ginagamit ngayon? Ginagamit siya sa, kasi di ba sa commercial na to, saan siya ginagamit? Sa ubo. Okay? At pwede na siyang gamitin sa asthma. Okay? And then we have yung nauso ngayon na recent news, okay, na sa diabetes naman, pwede yung mga capsule na ampalaya. And these were taken from indigenous information or knowledge. Okay? Sige. Next, let's proceed with item number 6. Okay? I hope our pacing is okay for everyone. Okay? Kung masyadong mabagal, we'll try to increase our pacing. But can you heart react if okay yung pacing natin? Okay, sige. Let's proceed with item number 6. All these are beneficial effects of scientific knowledge except, okay? So board exam pala, bear in mind that kapag sinabing all but one, okay, ibig sabihin, hahanapin mo yung tama or mali, yung odd one, okay? Odd one out, okay? And then may isa pa yung except, okay, incorrect, at saka not. Uh, there are certain items, diba, sa principles of assessment, sa isang principle doon, ay dapat naka-emphasize to mga to. Kasi pwedeng mamisto ng mga examinee. Pero in the actual licensure exam, minsan nagkakaroon ng typo error, okay? Common yon at hindi to nakakapitalize. So, dapat pag na-encounter nyo yan in the licensure exam, dapat encircle nyo agad para alam nyo na yung mali o yung nag-iisang tama ang hahanapin natin. Okay? So, let's see the options. So, letter A, solution to practical problems. Letter B, making informed decisions. Letter C, development of new technology. And letter D, pursuance of political agenda. Okay, very good. It's letter D. Okay? Kasi yung letter D, di ba, this is a personal reason, di ba, ng tao na gagamit ng science and it shouldn't be the prime motivation in science, okay? Not any political aspect, okay? Example of which would be, syempre, kunwari, yung vaccination, di ba? So, minsan yung mga naunang nagpa-vaccine, di ba? Yung mga nakaupo instead na yung mga medical frontliners. Okay? So, that's a bad sign na ina-apply yung science and technology on that aspect. Okay? Next, let's answer number 7. Okay? Item number 7. Which of the following imply that technology is a need rather than a want? Okay, so we have 4 options. This is a multiple choice question. Okay, so we have it makes work more efficient and convenient. It helps us communicate easier to our distant loved ones. Number 3, almost all human activities require assistance from technology. And number 4, anything outside of the basic needs like food, shelter, and clothing is luxury. Okay? Key in your answers. A, B, C, and D. Okay, sige, let's see. So, number one, it makes more work more efficient. This one is true. Okay, so kung true ito, eliminate agad si C. Okay, kasi wala si 1. Next would be, okay, it helps us communicate easier to our distant loved ones, like this one, di ba? We're across the Philippines, but we can have a synchronous session right now at the same time, right? So, this one is true. So, lahat may 2. Okay, ngayon titignan natin si 3 and 4 kung tama sila. Okay, almost all human activities require assistance from technology. This one is true. So check siya. So tanggal si letter B kasi wala siyang 3. Okay? Ang next na gagawin na lang natin ay, sabi niya, anything outside of the basic needs like food, shelter, and clothing is a luxury. Actually, hindi lang naman food, shelter, and clothing yung kailangan natin right now. We need internet, okay, to process our studying, okay? Also communication, as well as we need transportation means to move across certain areas. Like, halimbawa, magpa-file ka sa PRC. So, you need to go to PRC. So, you need technology and mobility. So, sabi niya dito, a need rather than want. Okay? So, pwede nating eliminate si number 4 kasi hindi siya true. Okay? So, tanggal si letter D. So, the best answer would be letter A. Okay? So, ganun lang din gagawin niyo in the actual licensure exam. Hanapin niyo lang yung tama or mali. At kung tama siya at wala sa option, you eliminate it para, for instance, we started with 4 options. So, you have 1/4 chance of getting it correctly. Pag na-eliminate yung isa, so tatlo na lang sila. So, 1/3. So, you increase the odds, your odds in answering the item correctly. Kasi very, very mahigpit yung top 10 ngayon, right? So, every item counts. Okay? So, next, let's proceed with item number 8. Okay, item number 8, which refers to the change from goods being made at home to creating them through machines and factories. Okay, so letter A, Earth's revolution. Letter B, Industrial Revolution. Letter C, Machine Revolution. Or letter D, Technological Revolution. Okay, can you type in your answers? Alright, thank you, Ms. Shaina. Okay, so the best answer here should be Industrial Revolution. Kasi yun naman talaga ang purpose ng Industrial Revolution, di ba? You started with mano-mano, handmade dati yung paggawa ng tela. But nagawa yung cotton genie, okay? And they were able to mass produce tela or textiles, okay? So let's define what is Industrial Revolution. So Industrial Revolution is the process of change from agrarian economy and handicraft, so ibig sabihin, made by hand, to something that is dominated by industry and machine. So yun lang naman. From home and farmlands to factories. Okay? So next, let's answer item number 9. Okay, so revolutionary technological inventions arranged from the oldest to the newest. Okay, is, so you have 4 options ulit. Okay, steam engine, electricity, computer, artificial intelligence. Letter B, artificial intelligence, computer, simple machines, computer, steam engine. Letter C, simple machines, steam engine, computer, artificial intelligence. Letter D, computer, steam engine, simple machine, artificial intelligence. Okay, very good. Let's see paano ba nag-evolve ang Industrial Revolution. Nasa 4th Industrial Revolution na tayo. Papasok na yan tayo sa 5. Okay, sa 5.0. Okay, so let's see. So ano ba yung Industry 1.0 or Industrialization 1.0? Dito na-discover yung kayang patakbuhin yung mga makina, okay, or pwedeng magkaroon ng mechanization of certain processes like your cotton genie to mass produce textile. Yung example pa nito ay yung printing press kasi dati, di ba, you have yung mga scribblers, right? Sila yung taga-sulat ng mga information, so medyo matagal. So Gutenberg was able to mass produce printing, okay, yung paggawa ng mga books. So this is more on steam and water power. Okay? So you mobilize the use of machines with the use of steam and water power. Okay? Next, for industrialization or IR 2.0, ito mas maramihang paggawa. At dito na na-discover yung electricity. That machines can be powered by electrical energy. Okay? And then we have industrialization 3.0. Ito mga 1980s to 1990s. Papasok dito ang computer at internet. And automated na yung production. Ibig sabihin, they can automate the process, like yung pagbabox, pagbabalot, during the industrialization 3.0. At kung isipin natin, saan papasok yung computer? 'Di ba, nag-start na yung computation, okay, yung digitalization noong mga 1990s. So that is 3.0. At right now, we are at industrialization 4.0. Dito na papasok yung mga smart factories na alam na nila, okay, na divided na yung mga stations such that robots, machines can process their products. Ano bang purpose ng paggamit ng robot, okay, or yung smart factories? Una, there are certain products kasi na dapat mataas yung sterility, okay? Na dapat, okay, iwas yung human contact, okay? Second, mas less yung error sa paggawa dun sa mga machines na yun. Like, kailangan ng mataas na precision. Like, example, cutting, di ba? Yung pagkakat ng certain metal, so it would require accuracy and precision. So ito pwede nang gawin ng mga robot. At dito papasok yung artificial intelligence and machine learning. So when we say machine learning, basically, yung when you input something, it would process that data kasi sobrang dami nating data. Ang problem is paano siya pinaprocess. That machine can learn from those data at kapag binigyan mo siya ng panibagong input, alam niya na kung ano yung ibibigay niyang output sa'yo or sagot. Okay, so that is machine learning. So balik tayo dito. Okay, so next start tayo with water power, di ba? So dapat steam engine ang mauna. So this is 1. Tapos nagkaroon tayo ng electricity. So this is 2. Tapos yung digitalization. So we have computer. At right now we have AI and machine learning. So the best answer would be letter A. Okay? Steam engine, electricity, computer, and artificial intelligence. The actual question in the recent licensure exam is, uh, ano daw period ng IR lumabas yung computer? Okay? So kung isipin natin, di ba, mas sumikat yung paggamit ng computer during the pandemic, kasi yung online classes, but that should be around 1990s. Okay? So that should be industrialization 3.0. Okay? Next, let's answer item number 10. Okay? So scientists are always ready to change or reject a hypothesis because scientists do not consider their ideas to be blank facts. So tentative, relative, absolute, transitional. Okay? Very good. Sabi natin, di ba? Ang keyword natin dito ay ready to change. Okay? Or reject a hypothesis that is not true. Okay? So the best answer here should be absolute. Bear in mind that in science, okay, ang ano natin ay if there are new evidences that would support another idea, okay, to be true, okay, yun yung tatanggapin ng scientific community. Okay? So, ganun naman tayo as science, di ba? We just base our knowledge on evidences. At kung may mga bagong evidences na papasok, okay, that would be the one that is accepted. Example of which would be in the COVID, okay, I forgot the name of the drug. I think it's a drug for malaria. I'm not sure if hydroquinone yun. Pero it's a drug in malaria. Sabi ng isang publication, pwede daw siyang makagamot sa COVID. But there are new evidences na nagde-debunk na yon. So right now, na-retract na yung paper na nagsasabi na yung gamot sa malaria na yon is not really helpful in treating COVID-19 infection. Okay? Next item, number 12. Okay. Number 11, sorry. What is a product of biotechnology that has existed even before the industrial age? So chemical pesticide, vitamin C, synthetic medicine, or letter D, live and bread. Okay, type in your answers, please. Alright, so let's define what is biotechnology. So, ang iniisip kasi ng karamihan, pag sinabi mo biotechnology, dapat there should be gene editing, right? Okay? But in reality, when we define biotechnology, it's the use of anything that has life, biological entity, to improve a product or possibly you try to look for solution in a problem. Okay? Ano ba yung mga ginagawa natin? Example of which would be, di ba nasisira yung mga isda natin na harvest? Ano ginagawa natin? Ginagawa natin silang buro. Di ba? Or ginagawa natin silang alamang. Alamang isda or bagoong, right? And basically, these processes would involve fermentation. At ang fermentation ay ang isang example ng biotechnology. At ang isa pa ay di ba meron tayong mga grains at ginawa natin silang harina. Okay? So para maging mas madali siyang kainin, okay? Ginawa natin siyang tinapay. Okay? Bread. And how do you make bread? Okay? You process the flour and then you add some yeast, right? So ano yung yeast? Yeast is a living organism. Okay? So it should be classified as biotech process. Okay? So anything na gagamit ka ng may buhay, okay, is a biotechnology product or process. Okay? So the best answer here should be letter D. Okay? Leavened bread. Okay? Next, item number 12. Okay? These are the ways science can further be beneficial to man, but not making the products of scientific endeavor simply, letter A, stored away in memory, results of men and women who are scientists, letter C, preserved in books and publications, or letter D, thoroughly recorded. Okay, type in your answers. Okay, what's your answers? Can you type in? Okay. So sabi niya dito, can further be beneficial to man. These are ways, sabi niya, di ba? But not. Okay? So you're looking for something that is incorrect. Okay? Yung ano ba, yung mga scientific knowledge ba, minememorize lang natin? Tinatago lang natin sa memory? Okay, we don't know yet, right? Okay. Next, results of men and women who are scientists. So, ibig sabihin, pinag-aralan ng mga busisi. So, this one is true. Letter C, preserved in books and publication. This is also true. Kaya alam natin sila kasi na-publish sila sa books or journals. At recorded sila by video or last time by letters. Dati kasi communications ang ginagamit ng mga scientists. Kaya they are recorded. So this one is true. So ang sabi niya dito are ways that can be beneficial to man, but not. So asan yung mali dito? It is correct. It should be letter A. Stored away in memory. Okay? So hindi lang siya in-store sa memory, dapat recorded siya. Okay? Next item, number 13. Okay? What does a critical-minded person consistently do? Gathers and analyzes evidences, criticize members of a group, careful about what happens. Letter D, remembers to be honest dapat to be honest always. Okay? So let's see ano ba yung mga scientific attitude na dapat meron tayo. Okay? First one is being curious dapat tayo. Dapat lagi tayong may question in mind para ma-retain or ma-sustain yung pagko-quest natin sa information. Kasi lahat, kapag wala ka ng curiosity, you would not be interested to science. Second would be, you should be critical to data or critical-minded ka. When I say critical-minded, hindi yung nagkikriticize ka ng mga tao. It is being what? Medyo skeptical ka sa information. You try to see if tama ba yan, consistent ba yan. You ask for authorities, like kunwari, you ask them ba, you are looking for thing about a medicine, a discovery. Okay, you may ask a doctor, okay, about it and see if mag-work siya, right? So that is critical mindedness. Truthfulness, so basically you are honest with your data. You don't manipulate your data para magtugma siya. Minsan kasi when we do scientific experiments, minsan hindi nagtutugma yung expectations natin with what is being shown in our experiment. So do not be tempted to manipulate our data. Inventiveness, so papasok dito yung innovation at saka yung looking for answers that is possibly hindi natin mahanapan or masolve yung mga problem natin. Okay, that is inventiveness or innovativeness or sometimes creativity. Okay, so lahat yung tatlo ay related. And then we have objectivity. Pag sinabi ng objectivity, unbiased or avoid personal feelings with your judgment. Suspended judgment, ibig sabihin, you just wait for more evidences before you make your conclusion. Okay? And then you have open-mindedness, ibig sabihin nito ay, if there are certain evidences that would support another idea at mas dumadami yon, we should be willing to change our perception and belief. Okay? So ito minsan kasi as science teachers, di ba? Yung mga natutunan natin before, okay? In the next, let's say, decade or 5 years, probably obsolete na sila or possibly, probably may bago ng information. So dapat willing tayong baguhin yung mga yon. At patient dapat tayo. So may mga challenges na darating. So dapat patient tayo. Huwag tayo nagmamadali sa resulta, okay? Kasi minsan hindi natin nakukuha ng mabilisan, okay? We accept authority, ibig sabihin, we accept the findings of earlier scientists, okay, as true, provided na nag-work pa siya, okay? Otherwise, if may mapapasok na bagong evidences, so dapat doon na tayo, okay? Next would be, last but not the least, would be humility. Pag sinabi mong humility, it's more on our perception as a human being na may limitation yung alam natin. May limitation yung mga naiintindihan natin. At pag nagkamali tayo, dapat we own it up. And we should be more accountable to it. Okay? Kasi, di ba, tao lang din naman tayo, nagkakamali in certain aspect in science. So, dapat humble tayo in na i-correct yung mistake natin. Okay? So, let's go back to item number 13. Okay? So, the best answer here should be correct letter A. Gathers and analyzes evidences. Okay? So, next, we proceed with item number 14. Okay? So, last 7 items na lang tayo and we're done. Okay? So, item number 14. According to the blank, no hypothesis or theory of nature is valid unless its predictions are in agreement with experimental results. So, is it the scientific method, hypothesis, principles, experiment? Okay, very good. It should be, okay, it should be scientific method. Okay, so lumabas to nung time ko. Okay, actually nabasa ko yung isang reference na ganito talaga yung sinabi niya. So I'm pretty sure na it's scientific method. Okay, so anything that should be, what is in theory or hypothesis, merong congruency yung theory at hypothesis. So on experimental results, okay? And that could be determined or investigated through scientific method. Ano bang meron sa scientific method? Remember, scientific method is a method of reasoning that can be applied to everyday life, okay? Next, it is logical and iterative. Anong ibig sabihin ng logical? Ibig sabihin nun, may sequence ka. You start with a problem. You ask a question, you gather information, you make your hypothesis. Ano ba yung sagot dun sa question na yon or problem? And afterwards, you may test your hypothesis if it is true or not. So how do you do that? You do experiment. What if hindi nag-work yung hypothesis mo na hindi talaga yung nakukuha mo sa experiment? So babalik ka ulit sa problem mo. Okay? And then you gather more information and then you construct a new hypothesis. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng iterative. So if you find something that is not consistent, okay, or that's not applicable or true, pwede kang bumalik sa una. Okay? At inductive siya, ibig sabihin, you start with a problem, you make a hypothesis, you test it, and then you draw a conclusion. And then you communicate it. Okay? So you start with a problem and you end up with a conclusion. So ibig sabihin, you have a lot of specific results and then you come out with a general idea. Yun naman yung ibig sabihin ng inductive. Okay? So next, let's answer this item. Item number 15. Okay? Which one of the following expresses a concise statement about a fundamental relationship in nature? Theory, hypothesis, okay, experiment, or law? Okay? So sabi niya dito ay fundamental relationship in nature. So ano ba yung nangyayari? Okay? So we have different answers. Okay? So I think I would rationalize it further. Ang sagot dito ay law. Okay? But actually, the best answer here should be principle. Kasi sabi niya, fundamental relationship in nature. So, ibig sabihin, kapag ba tumaas ito, anong mangyayari sa pangalawang variable? Tataas ba siya or bababa siya? So, pag tataas parehas at bababa parehas, that should be direct relationship, di ba? Pero kapag tataas yung isa, bababa yung isa, that is inverse relationship. Ang best dito ay yung principle. Pero wala kasi ang principle. So, it's law. Okay? So, let's differentiate the three. Okay? Law ay hypothesis, theory, and law. First one, hypothesis. It's a testable explanation to a question. Ang dapat yung tandaan dito ay falsifiable siya. Lumabas to sa let, sabi yung ganon. What is the best characteristic of hypothesis? Ang sagot doon ay falsifiable siya. Ibig sabihin nito, if yung hypothesis mo, hindi siya tumutugma sa experimental results mo, baka false talaga siya, not true talaga siya. Okay? Next would be theory. Pag sinabi mong theory, basically it's a based on scientific evidences that would explain how nature works. Pag sinabi mong how nature works, paano nangyayari? Example of which would be your Big Bang theory, 'di ba? Paano daw nag-start yung universe natin. So sabi niya, nagkaroon daw ng Big Bang event. Okay? At yung Big Bang event na yon, in other references, it's an explosion, but actually it's not. Okay? So, ano yung mga evidences na papasok dito? Na-detect nila na may cosmic background radiation. Kasi kung nagkaroon ng Big Bang event, dapat may latak yon, may remnant siya. And they were able to determine cosmic background radiation. Okay? And that is a proof na totoo yung Big Bang. Second would be the ratio of hydrogen and helium in the universe. So nakita nila na it corroborates the propositions of Big Bang theory. And last but not the least would be yung redshift. Okay? So yung redshift, ibig sabihin, pag lumalayo yung isang object, nagbabago yung wavelength ng object na yon. Example, stars or galaxies. At kapag lumalayo siya, humahaba yung wavelength, so nagkakaroon ng from blue to red, so redshift. So it is a proof na nag-expand nga yung universe natin. That is in line with Big Bang Theory. At yung law naman, ang sinasabi ng law ay it tells what nature does on certain conditions. Example, yung prutas, di ba? Pag nakahang pa siya, hindi siya babagsak. So meron siyang potential energy. Pero by law of gravity, 'di ba? Pag nawala yung attachment niya sa puno, ibig sabihin yun sa I'm not sure kung pet tool tawag doon. Pag natanggal yon, babagsak siya. Hindi siya lilipad, hindi siya lulutang kasi by law of gravity, sabi niya that there is a force that would pull it down. So alam nating babagsak siya. Okay? So alam natin kung anong mangyayari. Okay? So it can be represented in three ways. Okay? So you have statement. Okay, example, law of acceleration. Okay, so the acceleration of an object is directly proportional to force and inversely proportional with mass. And you can use a formula. Okay, and then you can also use a graph to represent your formula. Okay, so let's answer item number 16. Okay, a scientific law can be expressed as written concept, an equation, and a graph. Letter B, an equation and verbal concept. Letter C, written concept. Letter D, printed graph. Key in your answers. Okay, very good. So ang titingnan nyo dyan ay alin ba yung pinaka-encompassing among the given options. Okay, so we have. Okay, so it's a written concept and you can use a graph to represent it at equation siya. So ang pinaka-encompassing sa options ay letter A. Written concept, an equation, and a graph. Example of which, as mentioned, is your law of acceleration. So statement siya. Acceleration is directly proportional to net force and inversely proportional to mass. So if you would represent it with a formula, acceleration, yung direct proportional formula, okay, F over mass. So you would have an equality of force equal to mass and acceleration. So pag nire-arrange mo yan, mangyari dyan ay acceleration is equal to force over mass. At pwede mo siyang i-represent by a graph. So example, yung acceleration mo at saka force. So pag mababa yung force na binigay mo, mababa yung acceleration niya. Pag mataas yung force na nilagay mo, provided na constant yung mass, mataas yung acceleration na mapoproduce niya. Example of which is your review, right? If hindi ganun ka-intense yung pagre-review mo, okay, possibly, magkaroon ka ng issues with your let rating. But if you're focused and intentional in your review, most likely, tataas din yung rating mo sa let. Okay? Next, we go with item number 7. So, as a student researcher in science, 17, sorry. As a student researcher in science, these are activities you should do so that the hypothesis can be considered scientifically valid. But these do not include subjecting the hypothesis to an experiment, finding a basis based on observable facts, investigating within the realm of pure philosophy, and letter D, making your hypothesis testable. Okay? Tama. It should be, sabi nga niya, di ba, you have a hypothesis, you should test it to kung totoo siya o hindi via an experiment. Okay? So sa experiment, so this is an actual, parang anything na gagawin mo. So dapat, hindi siya isip lang. So it should be letter C. Hindi to dapat kasama. Okay? So speaking of experiments, we would encounter these three terms. Okay? You have independent variables, a dependent variables, and a controlled variables. Minsan may papasok pang isa, yung intervening variables. Okay? Ano ba yung independent variables? Pag sinabi mong independent variables, this is the treatment that you give on the setup. At kapag yung gusto mo ng evidences or mga observations, doon naman ang dependent variable. Anything that you observe or measure. Okay? At ang controlled variables ay, syempre sa experiment natin, may mga factors that can affect the experiment. Okay? So, as much as possible, you minimize them and you keep them the same all throughout the setups. Constant siya. At may tinatawag na intervening variables. Ito yung mga factors that can really affect the experiment. Okay? So, ginagawa natin sa kanila ay ginagawa natin silang constant. So, let's have an example para mas magets natin siya. Example of which, you want to try fertilizers A, B, and C. Okay? So ito, organic fertilizer A, organic fertilizer B, at okay, ito na yung nasa market ng fertilizer. So this is your positive control. Sometimes, if you're trying to look which one is working, okay, you would have a negative control. So ibig sabihin, wala kang treatment na binibigay, pwedeng tubig lang. Okay? So those are your independent variables, yung type of fertilizer. Ngayon, syempre, kung gusto mo, kung sino yung effective, you try to measure or observe the plant growth. So ano yung mga observe mo sa kanya? Una, yung leaves niya. Madami ba siyang dahon? Kulay green ba siya, yung dahon niya? At gaano siya kalaki? Ano yung height niya? So you measure those observations. So the type of fertilizers are independent variables kasi treatment sila. Okay? At yung mga observations na mini-measures natin or nire-record natin ay dependent variables. So these are your dependent variables. Ano yung pwedeng intervening at saka constant variables? Okay? Or controlled variables. Di ba halaman to? So kung halaman siya, anong process yung gagawin niya? Letter P. Can you type in correct? Photosynthesis, di ba? Magpo-photosynthesis yung plant. So kung magpo-photosynthesis siya, kailangan niya ng carbon dioxide, water, at saka sunlight. So dapat may tamang exposure siya dito. So kung ba yung isa pinaarawan mo, yung isa hindi, di ba? Pag hindi mo pinapaarawan ng halaman, di ba, humahaba siya via positive phototropism. Haba siya. So may bias ka na agad kasi humaba siya eh. So isipin mo effective siya pero in reality, hindi. Kasi humaba lang siya kasi naghahanap siya ng sunlight. Okay? So what we do is we make them the same all throughout your, halimbawa, fertilizer A, B, C, and yung walang fertilizer para constant siya. At yung pagdidilig natin dapat sapat lang. Okay? Hindi sobra-sobra at pantay siya sa lahat. So those are your controlled variables. Okay? So we have two items related to variables. Okay, let's answer them. Okay, Bimbo wanted to find out if a ball drop from a higher building would be slower than one drop from a smaller building. He times the fall as the ball reaches the ground. So ibig sabihin, umakyat siya sa building tapos binagsak niya yung bola at tinime niya from pag-drop hanggang na-reach niya yung ground. Okay? What is the dependent variable in this experiment? Okay? Time it takes for the ball to reach the ground, time the elevator rises up the building, letter C, height from where the ball is dropped, okay? Letter D, time it takes for one person holding the ball to go up the building. Okay? So type in your answers. Okay, medyo mahaba yung question. Okay? So let's dissect the problem. Okay? I see your answers. Okay? Bilbo wanted to find out if a ball drop from a higher building would be slower compared from a smaller building. So basically, what variable yung tinitingnan natin? Height. Okay? Height, tama? Kung gaano katagal babagsak yung bola. Ngayon, pag binagsak mo yung bola, ano yung ma-observe mo? Di ba yung tagal? Ano yung tagal? Di ba this is length of time? Tama? So this is your variable na binigay natin, either a higher building and a smaller building. So this is your independent variable. Okay? So letter C is height where the ball is dropped. This is your independent. Ano yung observable natin? Kung gaano kabilis or katagal yung pagbagsak niya. Okay? So what is that factor? Kung gaano kabilis or gaano katagal? It is, can you type in? Let's correct your answers. It should be, okay, it should be correct. It should be letter A. The time it takes for the ball to reach the ground. Okay? So bear in mind that if you are looking for treatment, okay, ano ba yung factor na tinitignan mo that could affect something? That is your independent variable. Okay? So tinitignan natin dito ay slower ba siya kapag nasa mataas, higher building than smaller building? So yung height ng building yon. So that's the factor that you are trying to investigate. So that is your independent variable. Okay? So ano ang pwedeng ano dito? Ano dapat yung controlled variables na naisip nyo? Sa tingin nyo? It's the type of the ball. Okay? Yeah, pwede yung weight, okay? Or the type of the ball. Okay? So ideally kasi, 'di ba? By a law of gravitational acceleration, dapat ano sila, pag binagsak mo yung mabigat at saka magaan dun sa same building, dapat same time silang babagsak. Pero in reality, nagkakaroon ng contact force or yung wind. Okay? So kung may contact force na mag-interact, okay, dun sa ball natin, okay, that could affect the length of the time ng pagbagsak niya. So dapat pare-parehas yung type of ball na ginagamit no ni Bimbo. Okay? Next, let's proceed with second to the last item. Okay? So si Marcus. Marcus wants to determine whether noise can affect the concentration of grade 1 students. In Class A, sounds of horn blowing by jeepneys were transmitted to the speakers inside the classroom. In Class B, there was a complete silence. Okay? So he had both classes read a short story and answer the questions after. In this case, which is the control group? Class A, Class B, both classes, or neither of the classes? Okay, so let's dissect the problem. Sabi ni Marcus, okay, gusto niyang malaman kung yung noise ba can affect the concentration of grade 1 students. So yung noise natin, ito yung independent variables natin. Dependent variable. Okay? Next, ano sila, nagbasa sila ng short story at nagsagot sila ng question. So ito yung magiging ma-observe mo. So this is your dependent variable, kung ilan yung score nila. Okay? So di ba kung titignan mo kung nakaka-affect ba yung noise sa group of students, dapat may isa kang group na walang maingay. Hindi naka-receive nung independent variable. So sino yung hindi naka-receive ng noise? It's the class B. Si class B sabi niya, there was a complete silence. So kung walang binigay na ingay, this is your negative control. Okay? So this is your negative control. So it should be letter B, class B. Ang treated group or treatment group natin ay yung class A. So ngayon, titingnan mo, ano ba yung score nila? So paano natin malalaman kung nakakaapekto ba siya? Pwede mong tignan kung ano yung score ni class A at saka class B. Okay? And then you would test it, okay? By hypothesis testing, kung yung mean ba, like t-test, you can do t-test. Okay? I-compare mo yung mean score ni class A at saka ni class B, at kung malayo yung result nila at there is a significant difference, ibig sabihin, okay? Ang null hypothesis mo kasi dito ay there's no, okay? There's no effect, okay? So pag malayo, i-reject mo yung there's no effect of the noise in class concentration. Ngayon, may alternative hypothesis ka. Ang alternative hypothesis mo ay there is an effect on the concentration of the classes when there's a noise or gypsy noises while reading a short story. Okay? So next we go with the last item. Okay? So last item na lang tayo. Which of the following utilizes related observations and specific data to arrive at a general conclusions or principle? Inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, logical thinking, transductive reasoning. Okay, very good. So we start with a data. We end up with a general idea. So that is inductive. So let's differentiate it with deductive. Okay? So examples na lang tayo. Okay? Pag sinabi mong inductive reasoning, okay, ang titignan mo ay you have specific examples and then you would come up with, okay, with an idea. Example of which would be, marami ka nakikitang pato na puti. Okay? Nakakita ng pato ngayon, puti. Nakakita ka ng pato kinabukasan, puti. At sasabihin mo na puti lahat ng pato. Okay? Very good. Okay? Specific to general, inductive. Next, ang deductive reasoning ay you have a theory. I-apply mo siya sa isang example. Example of which would be all mammals have lungs. Okay? So, halimbawa, tayo, mammals tayo kasi may lungs tayo. Okay? Ang dog, okay, mammal siya, so may lungs siya. Eh, di ba ang whale, may mammal siya? Okay? So, ibig sabihin nun, may lungs din siya. So, you have, okay, you have a general idea, okay, apply mo sa mga specific examples, so that is deductive reasoning. Okay? So, ang sagot natin dito ay letter A, inductive reasoning. So, that ends our session for tonight. Okay? So, thank you for attending this session. Okay?